There is a kind of pain that does not come to end your life. It comes to end the life that was quietly destroying you. A man once stood beside the ruins of everything he had begged Allah to protect. The door had closed, the people had left, the plan had collapsed. And with tears in his eyes he asked, Allah, why did you allow everything to break at once? But he could not see where that old road was taking him. He did not know that the life he was mourning could have caused him a pain far greater than the pain of losing it. My brother, my sister, sometimes Allah does not prepare you by making life comfortable. Sometimes false support must collapse, the wrong people must leave, and the old road must disappear. You may call it destruction, but what if it is protection? You may feel buried right now, but what if Allah is not burying you? What if He is planting you for a life your present heart is still being prepared to carry? Lesson 1. Allah may break the life that would have broken you. My brother, my sister, sometimes you cry because something has ended, but you do not know what Allah may have saved you from. You may cry because a relationship ended. You may cry because a door closed. You may cry because the plan you worked hard for suddenly failed. You may look at your life and say, why did this happen to me? Why did Allah allow this to fall apart? But what you cannot see is where that path may have taken you. You only saw the beginning. Allah knew the whole road. You saw the person as they were today. Allah knew what they might become tomorrow. You saw the opportunity in front of you. Allah knew the pain that could be hiding behind it. Sometimes what you call a loss may actually be protection. Something may have looked beautiful from the outside, but slowly it was stealing your peace. It was making your heart heavy. It was pulling you away from prayer. It was making you doubt yourself. It was changing the kind person you used to be. You kept holding on because you remembered the good days. You kept making excuses because you were afraid to start again. You kept asking Allah to fix it because you did not have the courage to leave it. So Allah may allow it to break, not because He wants to hurt you, but because you were holding something that was hurting you already. Think about it carefully. How many times have you begged for something, then later thanked Allah that you did not receive it? How many people once broke your heart, but after some time, you realized that losing them brought your peace back? How many doors looked perfect, but when they closed, another path opened that was better for your faith, your family, and your future? This is why you should not judge Allah's plan in the middle of your pain. The middle is always confusing. When a house is being repaired, it first looks worse. Walls are opened, dust fills the room, old things are removed. For a short time, everything looks damaged, but the builder is not destroying the house. He is making it stronger. Your life may feel the same right now. Allah may be removing weak walls. He may be removing false support. He may be removing habits, people, and plans that could not carry the future waiting for you. You may feel as if everything is falling apart, but perhaps the wrong things are only falling out of your life. My brother, my sister, do not call every ending a punishment. Some endings are mercy. Some closed doors are protection. Some delays are rescue. Some people leave because keeping them would cost you more than losing them. You may not understand it immediately. You may still cry. You may still miss what you lost. Faith does not mean you never feel pain. Faith means you feel the pain, but you still trust that Allah sees what you cannot see. You say, Allah, I do not understand this, but I trust you. That sentence can save your heart. You do not need to have every answer today. You only need to remember that Allah is not limited by what you have lost. If one door closes, He can open another. If one person leaves, He can send better people. If one plan fails, He can write a new plan that takes you somewhere you never imagined. Do not keep running back to something Allah may have removed for your protection. Do not keep knocking on a door that only brought pain into your heart. Do not keep asking for the old life when Allah may be preparing a safer one. Perhaps the life you wanted would have exhausted you. Perhaps the person you trusted would have damaged your faith. Perhaps the success you wanted too early would have filled your heart with pride. Perhaps the delay is protecting your character until you are ready. You may never know every danger Allah kept away from you. You may never see every problem that was hiding behind the door that closed. But one day you may look back and say, now I understand. Allah was protecting me while I thought He was taking something away. So be patient with this chapter. Let yourself heal. Keep praying. Keep doing what is right. Do not allow one painful ending to convince you that your whole life is finished. The part that broke may not have been your future. It may have been the thing standing in the way of your future. Allah may break the life that would have broken you, so that He can lead you toward a life where your heart is stronger, your faith is deeper, and your peace is no longer controlled by people or circumstances. What left your life may have created pain, but what Allah may be protecting you from could have caused far greater pain. Trust Him, even before you understand Him. Lesson 2. This pain may be the process. No one warned you about, my brother, my sister. Many people speak about the blessing, but very few speak about what often happens before the blessing arrives. They speak about success. They speak about peace. They speak about doors opening, but they do not always speak about the confusion, the waiting, the loneliness, and the pain that may come before it. You may have believed that when Allah prepares someone for something better, life immediately becomes easier. But sometimes it becomes harder first. Sometimes your comfort is disturbed. Sometimes your plans stop working. Sometimes people you trusted begin to change. Sometimes you feel tired for reasons you cannot explain. And because no one warned you about this part, you begin to think something is wrong with you. You ask, why is my life becoming more difficult when I am trying to become better? You are praying more, but the answer still feels far away. You are trying to leave bad habits, but the struggle becomes stronger. You are trying to trust Allah, but your heart still feels afraid. You are trying to move forward, but every step feels heavy. Difficulty does not always mean you are moving in the wrong direction. Sometimes it means you are leaving behind a version of yourself that can no longer continue with you. Growth is not always comfortable. A person who has lived in fear for many years will not suddenly become brave without a struggle. A heart that has depended on people will not learn to depend on Allah without feeling some loneliness. A person who has always needed praise will not become sincere without first feeling unseen. A soul that has been attached to the world will not become free without feeling the pain of separation. This is the part no one talks about. Allah may be teaching you something deeper than what you asked for. You asked for strength so you may face a situation that forces you to become strong. You asked for patience so you may enter a season where things do not happen quickly. You asked for peace, so Allah may first show you everything that has been stealing your peace. You asked for better people, so some of the wrong people may first leave. You asked for a new beginning, but before the new beginning comes, the old chapter may need to end, and endings can hurt. Even when something is bad for you, letting it go can still hurt. Even when a person treated you poorly, you may still miss them. Even when a door was wrong for you, you may still wonder what could have happened if it had stayed open. The heart does not always heal in one day. Healing can be slow. Some days you will feel strong. Other days, one memory will bring the pain back. This does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. Do not be ashamed of the days when you feel weak. Do not think Allah has left you because you are struggling. Sometimes the struggle itself is teaching you to call upon Him with a more honest heart. Before the pain, perhaps your prayers were quick. Now you speak to Allah with tears. Before the pain, perhaps you thought you could handle everything alone. Now you understand how much you need His help. Before the pain, perhaps you placed all your hope in a person, a job, or a plan. Now your heart is slowly learning that everything in this world can change. This process may feel painful, but it is teaching you where to place your trust. Imagine a person carrying a heavy bag for many years. They become so used to the weight that they begin to think it is normal. Then one day, they are told to put the bag down. At first, their body still feels the pressure. Their hands still want to hold it. Walking without it feels strange. This is what can happen when Allah removes something you have carried for too long. You may have carried fear. you may have carried guilt. You may have carried the need to please everyone. You may have carried a relationship that kept hurting you. You may have carried a dream that was no longer good for you. When it is removed, you may not immediately feel free. At first, you may feel empty, but emptiness is not always bad. Sometimes Allah empties a space because it was filled with something that could never give you peace. My brother, my sister, do not run back to old pain just because the new path feels unfamiliar. Do not return to people who harmed you simply because loneliness feels difficult. Do not return to a habit you left simply because change feels uncomfortable. Do not believe that every painful feeling is telling you to go backward. Sometimes pain appears because your heart is learning a new way to live. A wound can hurt while it is healing. That does not mean the healing is wrong. The process may also reveal things about you that you did not want to see. It may show you that you depended too much on people. It may show you that you were chasing approval. It may show you that you were ignoring your prayer. It may show you that your happiness was connected to things that could disappear at any moment. These truths may be difficult to accept, but Allah does not show you your weakness to humiliate you. He may show it to you so that you can repair it. You cannot heal what you refuse to see. You cannot change what you keep defending. You cannot grow if you keep pretending that everything is fine. Sometimes the pain removes the mask. It makes you honest. It shows you what your heart truly fears. It shows you what you truly love. It shows you where your trust has been placed. And once you see the truth, you can begin to rebuild. You may feel as if your life has slowed down. Other people may appear to be moving ahead. They are getting married. They are finding success, they are achieving their goals, and you are still trying to survive the day. Do not compare your process to someone else's result. You see their outside, but you do not know their full story. You do not know what Allah is protecting you from. You do not know what He is preparing you for. Your delay is not proof that you have been forgotten. Your difficult season is not proof that you have been rejected. Allah's timing is not controlled by your fear, your age, or the progress of other people. He knows when your heart is ready. He knows when the door is safe. He knows when the blessing will help you rather than harm you. Sometimes receiving something too early can destroy the person who asked for it. Success without character can create pride. Money without wisdom can create waste. Love without emotional healing can create unhealthy attachment. Influence without sincerity can destroy the heart. So Allah may prepare the person before giving them what they requested. And preparation can be painful because it changes you. It removes old thinking. It breaks false confidence. It teaches humility. It teaches patience. It teaches you how to remain kind even when life is not kind to you. This pain may be the process no one warned you about, but it may also be the process that saves you from becoming someone you were never meant to be. So when the journey feels heavy, do not immediately assume that Allah is against you. Pause, pray, ask yourself what this season may be teaching you. Perhaps you are learning not to beg people to stay. Perhaps you are learning not to force closed doors. Perhaps you are learning how to live without constant praise. Perhaps you are learning that your worth does not decrease when someone fails to see it. Perhaps you are learning that Allah alone can give a peace that the world cannot take away. One day, you may look back and understand that the painful process was not empty. It was building your patience. It was deepening your faith. It was cleaning your heart. It was teaching you how to stand when no one supported you. It was preparing you to carry the next blessing without losing yourself. So do not give up because the process is uncomfortable. Do not judge the whole journey by its most painful chapter. The pain may not be the final destination. It may only be the road through which Allah is taking you toward a stronger heart, a clearer mind, and a life built on truth. You may not understand this process today, but keep walking, keep praying, keep choosing what is right. There may come a day when you thank Allah not only for what He gave you, but also for the difficult process that prepared you to receive it. Lesson 3. Every false support may collapse at once. My brother, my sister, there are seasons when one problem does not come alone. The person you trusted suddenly changes. The job you depended on becomes uncertain. The plan you believed would save you falls apart. The people who promised to stand beside you become silent, and before you can recover from one disappointment, another one arrives. You may sit alone and ask, why is everything collapsing at the same time? It can feel frightening because the things that once made you feel safe are no longer there. You thought that person would never leave. You thought that income would always continue. You thought that door would remain open. You thought your plan was strong enough to carry your future. But suddenly, the support beneath your feet begins to move. Listen carefully. Not everything you lean on is strong enough to hold you forever. Some support only looks strong while life is easy. Some people remain near you only while you are useful to them. Some doors stay open only while they serve a certain season. Some plans work only until Allah decides to guide you somewhere else. This does not mean every person is bad or every worldly support is wrong. We all need family, friends, work, and practical help. But the problem begins when the heart starts treating temporary things as if they can never disappear. You may begin to believe, as long as this person is here, I will be fine. Or, as long as I have this job, nothing can shake me. Or, as long as this plan works, my future is safe. Then Allah may allow you to see how quickly the world can change. Not to destroy your heart, but to correct where your heart has placed its deepest trust. People can love you and still disappoint you. Money can help you and still disappear. A job can support you and still end. A strong body can become weak. A beautiful plan can fail for reasons you never expected. Everything in this life has limits. Only Allah has no limits. Sometimes He allows several false supports to collapse close together because one small loss may not have awakened your heart. Perhaps when one door closed, you immediately ran to another door. When one person left, you placed all your trust in someone else. When one plan failed, you built another plan with the same unhealthy dependence. You changed the object, but your heart remained attached in the same way, so the lesson became deeper. It may feel as if everything is being taken from you, but perhaps Allah is showing you something important. He may be showing you that the foundation of your peace was too weak. Imagine building a beautiful house on soft ground. The walls may look perfect. The windows may shine, the rooms may be filled with expensive things, but when a storm comes, the weakness beneath the house is revealed. The storm did not create the weak foundation, it only exposed it. In the same way, hardship may reveal what your heart was secretly depending on. You may discover that your confidence came from people praising you. You may discover that your peace depended on one person replying to you. You may discover that your sense of worth came from your position, your income, or your success. You may discover that you felt close to Allah only when life was going well. These discoveries can hurt. No one enjoys seeing their own weakness, but seeing the weakness is the beginning of repairing it. Allah may allow the false foundation to shake so you can build on something stronger. My brother, my sister, there are people who say, I am always here for you. But when your life becomes difficult, they disappear. There are people who celebrate with you when you are rising, but become uncomfortable when you need support. There are people who love the version of you that gives, smiles, helps, and never complains. But the moment you become tired, quiet, or broken, they do not know how to remain. Their departure can make you feel worthless. You may ask, was I never important to them? Perhaps you were important, but they did not have the character, loyalty, or strength you believed they had. Do not allow another person's weakness to make you question your worth. Their failure to stand beside you does not mean you are unworthy of love. It may simply mean Allah is showing you the truth before you trust them with even more of your heart. Some truths arrive painfully, but painful truth is still safer than a beautiful lie. You may also lose practical support. Perhaps you depended on a job, but the job ended. Perhaps you depended on savings, but an emergency used them. Perhaps you thought one opportunity would change everything, but it disappeared at the final moment. You may feel afraid because you do not know what will happen next. Fear may whisper, you are finished, but losing one source does not mean Allah has lost the ability to provide for you. The source was never the creator of your provision. It was only one path through which provision reached you. Allah can close one path and open another that you never considered. He can send help through a person you do not know. He can create an opportunity from a place you did not expect. He can give you an idea, a skill, or a connection that changes your direction. Do not confuse the closing of one channel with the end of Allah's care. You may not see the next answer yet. That is often the hardest part. The old support has collapsed, but the new door has not opened. You are standing in between. Behind you is something that no longer works. In front of you is something you cannot yet see. This space can feel lonely. It can feel like Allah has left you with nothing. But perhaps this is where your trust becomes real. It is easy to say you trust Allah when every answer is visible. It is easy to feel calm when money is available, people are supportive, and plans are working. But when those things disappear, the heart is tested. Will you still believe Allah is with you when you cannot see how the problem will be solved? Will you continue praying when the answer is delayed? Will you continue doing what is right when no one is rewarding you? Will you remain kind when people have disappointed you? This is where faith grows deeper, not when life gives you everything you want, but when you still turn toward Allah after everything else has failed you. My brother, my sister, sometimes Allah allows you to reach the end of human help, so you understand that His help was never limited by human ability. You may call everyone you know, but no one can solve the problem. You may explain your pain, but no one fully understands it. You may ask for advice, but every answer feels incomplete. Then one night you sit alone, there is no one left to impress, there is no one left to convince, there is no plan left to control, and your heart finally speaks honestly to Allah. That prayer may be different from every prayer you made before. It is no longer a prayer from comfort. It is a prayer from need. You are not choosing perfect words. You are simply saying, Allah, I have nowhere else to go. Please guide me. That moment may feel like weakness, but it may be the moment your heart begins to become strong, because true strength is not believing you can control everything. True strength is knowing that even when you cannot control anything, Allah is still in control. Do not be ashamed if this season has made you cry. Do not think your faith is weak because you feel afraid. You are human. The loss of support can hurt deeply. You may miss the person who left. You may worry about money. You may feel embarrassed that your plans failed. You may compare yourself to people whose lives appear stable. But do not let temporary feelings become permanent conclusions. Feeling afraid does not mean you are abandoned. Feeling alone does not mean Allah is absent. Feeling uncertain does not mean your future is empty. You are seeing only the current page. Allah knows the entire story. Perhaps the collapse is removing people who would have controlled you later. Perhaps it is closing a door that would have trapped you. Perhaps it is teaching you a skill you would never have learned while comfortable. Perhaps it is making you independent from someone who enjoyed seeing you weak. Perhaps it is bringing you back to prayer after years of distance. Perhaps it is preparing you to help others who will one day face the same pain. You may not understand the purpose while the dust is still rising. When a building collapses, everything becomes unclear for a while. You see broken pieces everywhere. You cannot immediately imagine what will be built in its place. Your life may feel like that. You see what has ended, but you cannot yet see what may begin. Give the process time. Do not rush into the wrong relationship because you are afraid of being alone. Do not accept a harmful opportunity because you are afraid of having nothing. Do not run back to people who broke your peace merely because they once made you feel secure. Loneliness can make old chains look like comfort. Fear can make the wrong door look necessary. Be careful. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is remain patient while Allah reveals the next step. Use this season to rebuild your connection with Him. Pray even when your feelings are heavy. Speak honestly to Allah. Ask for guidance before making decisions. Take practical steps, but do not panic. Search for work. Ask trustworthy people for help. Learn new skills. Correct your mistakes. But while you act, remember that your results are not controlled by people alone. Allah can place blessing in one small effort and make it greater than 100 plans. He can turn a painful ending into the beginning of a better life. One day, you may look back and understand why everything had to shake. You may realize that some people were standing between you and peace. You may realize that a certain job was slowly damaging your health and faith. You may realize that your old plan was too small for what Allah later opened. You may realize that the collapse did not remove your future. It removed the things that were keeping you tied to the wrong future. So when every false support seems to collapse at once, do not believe that you have been left with nothing. You still have Allah. And when you have Allah, you are not starting from nothing. You are starting from the strongest foundation. People may leave, but He knows where you are. Doors may close, but He knows which door is safe. Plans may fail, but His wisdom does not fail. Your strength may become weak, but His power never becomes weak. My brother, my sister, perhaps this season is not teaching you that you cannot trust anyone. Perhaps it is teaching you not to place the weight of your entire heart upon anyone except Allah. Love people, appreciate them, accept their help. But remember that they are human. They have limits. Allah does not. When false support disappears, true support becomes clearer. The collapse may be painful. The silence may be frightening. The future may look uncertain. But do not surrender to despair. What has fallen may have been temporary. What Allah is building within you may remain for the rest of your life. He may be teaching you to stand without applause, to pray without immediate answers, to move without full certainty, to trust without seeing the whole road. And when new blessings arrive, you will hold them differently. You will be grateful, but you will not worship them. You will love people, but you will not lose yourself for them. You will use money, but you will not believe it controls your future. You will make plans, but you will know that Allah's plan is greater. Every false support may collapse at once, but perhaps it collapses so your heart can finally rest upon the one who never collapses, never changes, and never abandons those who sincerely turn toward Him. Lesson 4. The dark phase may be where Allah rebuilds you. My brother, my sister, there are moments in life when everything becomes quiet in a painful way. The excitement disappears, the people around you seem distant, the plans you once trusted no longer make sense. You wake up in the morning, but your heart still feels tired. You continue with your daily life, but deep inside something feels broken. You may smile in front of others, you may answer people normally, you may even say, "I am fine," but when you are alone, the weight returns. You begin to ask, why is this season so dark? Why can I not see where my life is going? Listen carefully. A dark season does not always mean Allah has left you. Sometimes darkness is the place where deep rebuilding begins. There are changes Allah may create inside you that cannot happen while your life is full of noise, praise, comfort, and distraction. When everything is easy, you may not notice what is weak inside your heart. You may not notice how much you depend on people. You may not notice how much your peace depends on good news. You may not notice how quickly you become ungrateful when one small thing goes wrong. You may not notice the pride hidden behind your success. But when life becomes difficult, these hidden parts begin to appear. The dark phase reveals what comfort was covering. It shows you where you are wounded. It shows you what you fear losing. It shows you whose approval controls you. It shows you what you truly believe when your prayers are not answered quickly. This can be painful. It is not easy to face yourself honestly. Sometimes you discover that you were stronger in public than you were in private. Sometimes you discover that you spoke about trust, but your heart was still depending completely on people. Sometimes you discover that you were doing good, but deep inside you wanted others to notice. Sometimes you discover that your happiness was attached to one person, one goal, or one outcome. Allah may allow the darkness to reveal these things, not to shame you, but to heal you. You cannot repair what you refuse to see. You cannot clean a wound that you keep hiding. You cannot build a strong heart on top of pain that has never been faced. So Allah may slow your life down. He may remove the noise. He may create distance between you and people. He may allow your old methods to stop working. And in that silence, you begin to hear what your heart has been trying to tell you for a long time. Perhaps you were exhausted from trying to please everyone. Perhaps you were carrying pain from years ago. Perhaps you never truly healed from the person who hurt you. Perhaps you kept moving because you were afraid that stopping would force you to feel everything. Then life becomes quiet and the feelings rise to the surface. Do not be afraid of this. The pain coming to the surface may be the beginning of its release. Imagine a room that has been closed for many years. It may look peaceful from the outside, but when the door is finally opened, dust fills the air. For a moment, the room looks worse. The dust moves everywhere. You may even feel tempted to close the door again, but the dust was already there. Opening the room did not create it. It only revealed what needed to be cleaned. Your heart can be like that room. When Allah begins rebuilding you, old pain may return. Old memories may appear. Fear you thought you had defeated may rise again. You may wonder, why am I feeling this now? I thought I was over it. Perhaps you were not over it. Perhaps you simply became busy enough to avoid it. Now Allah may be giving you the chance to face it with greater faith, greater wisdom, and greater honesty. Healing does not always feel peaceful at first. Sometimes healing feels like crying over something you ignored for years. Sometimes it feels like accepting that a person you loved was not good for you. Sometimes it feels like admitting that your own choices caused part of the pain. Sometimes it feels like forgiving yourself for not knowing better. Sometimes it means letting go without receiving an apology. These things are difficult, but they can also set you free. My brother, my sister, the dark phase may also remove the false version of you. For a long time you may have tried to look strong for everyone. You may have hidden your sadness because you did not want people to think you were weak. You may have agreed with others because you feared rejection. You may have remained in unhealthy situations because you wanted to be accepted. You may have kept helping people even when you were empty because you thought saying no would make you a bad person. But eventually, the heart becomes tired of pretending. The dark season may be the place where the false image begins to fall. You stop trying to impress people. You stop explaining every decision. You stop chasing those who only remember you when they need something. You stop begging people to understand a pain they never tried to understand. At first, this may feel lonely, but it may also be the beginning of peace. Allah may be teaching you that you do not need to perform for love. You do not need to destroy yourself to prove that you are kind. You do not need to stay in every place simply because you have been there for a long time. You do not need to keep carrying people who refuse to walk. This rebuilding may change the way you see yourself. Before, you may have believed that strength meant never crying. Now you learn that strength can mean crying and still praying. Before, you may have believed that faith meant never feeling afraid. Now you learn that faith can mean feeling afraid and still choosing what is right. Before, you may have believed that patience meant doing nothing. Now you learn that patience means continuing to trust Allah while taking wise steps forward. The dark phase may teach you a deeper kind of strength. A strength that is not loud. A strength that does not need attention. A strength that is built in private. No one may see the nights when you fight your thoughts. No one may see how difficult it is for you to get out of bed. No one may see how much effort it takes to avoid returning to an old habit. No one may see the prayers you make with a tired heart, but Allah sees every part of it. He sees the moment you choose silence instead of anger. He sees the moment you walk away from something harmful. He sees the moment you forgive even though the wound still hurts. He sees the moment you continue praying even when you feel empty. The world may not celebrate these moments, but these may be the moments that rebuild your character. You may think nothing is happening because your outside life has not changed yet. But some of the greatest changes happen where no one can see them. A tree does not begin by producing fruit. It begins by forming roots beneath the ground. The ground is dark, the work is hidden, there is no applause. But without those roots, the tree will not survive the storm. You may be in a root-building season. You may not see quick results. You may not feel successful. You may not receive recognition. But Allah may be strengthening you beneath the surface. He may be teaching you discipline. He may be teaching you to control your words. He may be teaching you not to react to every insult. He may be teaching you how to remain calm when people misunderstand you. He may be teaching you how to walk away without hatred. These lessons may feel small, but they prepare you for larger responsibilities. Many people ask Allah for a greater life, But a greater life requires a stronger heart. You may ask for influence, but influence brings criticism. You may ask for success, but success brings pressure. You may ask for love, but love requires patience and maturity. You may ask for leadership, but leadership requires sacrifice. If Allah gave you everything immediately, perhaps the weight of it would damage you. So before He changes what is around you, He may first change what is within you. This is why the waiting can be long. You may be looking for a new door. Allah may be building a new version of you. You may be asking for your situation to change. Allah may be changing the way you think. You may be asking for relief. Allah may be teaching you how not to return to the same choices that created the pain. Do not rush the rebuilding. A weak wall can be painted quickly, but the paint will not make it strong. Sometimes the wall must be removed. The damaged parts must be exposed. A stronger foundation must be built. This takes time. Your life may look messy during this process. People may not understand you. Some may say you have changed. They may be correct. You are changing. You are learning not to accept disrespect simply to keep people close. You are learning not to call emotional confusion love. You are learning not to call constant worry responsibility. You are learning not to call people-pleasing kindness. You are learning that peace also requires boundaries. My brother, my sister, do not allow people to make you feel guilty for becoming healthier. Some people were comfortable with the version of you that never said no. They were comfortable when you always gave. They were comfortable when you remained silent about what hurt you. When you begin to rebuild, they may resist, they may call you selfish, they may say you are becoming cold, but there is a difference between becoming cold and becoming wise. There is a difference between hating people and protecting your peace. There is a difference between pride and refusing to accept repeated harm. Ask Allah to keep your heart kind, but also ask Him to give you wisdom. Kindness does not mean allowing everyone to enter every part of your life. Forgiveness does not mean returning to the same danger. Love does not mean losing yourself. The dark phase may teach you these truths. You may also feel as if Allah is silent. You pray, but the answer does not come in the way you expected. You ask for a sign, but nothing becomes clear. You wait for a door, but the door remains closed. This silence can feel painful, but silence does not mean absence. A teacher can be silent during an important test, but the teacher is still present. In the same way, there may be seasons when Allah does not give you immediate answers, but He is still guiding you through what He allows and what He prevents. The closed door may be guidance, the delay may be guidance, the discomfort may be guidance, the person leaving may be guidance. The loss of peace around a certain path may be guidance. Guidance does not always arrive as a clear voice. Sometimes it arrives as repeated redirection. You keep trying to force one path, but it continues to close. You keep trying to return to one person, but the same pain returns. You keep ignoring what your heart knows, but your peace continues to disappear. Perhaps Allah is teaching you to stop forcing what He is helping you leave. This dark phase may continue until you release the thing that keeps pulling you backward. You may be praying for peace while holding tightly to what destroys it. You may be praying for healing while returning to the same wound. You may be praying for a new life while refusing to leave the old one. Sometimes the answer begins with your willingness to let go. Letting go does not mean you never cared. It means you accept that not everything you love is meant to remain. It means you trust that Allah can replace what you release. It means you stop allowing fear to control your decisions. This rebuilding also requires patience with yourself. You will not become a different person overnight. Some days you will feel strong. Other days you may feel as if you have returned to the beginning. Do not judge your whole journey by one difficult day. A bad day does not erase your progress. A moment of weakness does not mean you have failed. Healing is not always a straight road. You may move forward, remember something painful, and feel weak again. That is normal. Return to Allah, begin again. Do not turn one mistake into a reason to give up completely. The dark phase may make you feel that everyone else is ahead of you. You see people celebrating while you are still trying to heal. You see others reaching goals while your life feels paused. You may ask, why is my journey taking so long? But you do not know what Allah is building inside you. You do not know what He has protected you from. You do not know what would have happened if your request had been answered earlier. Do not compare another person's visible blessing to your hidden preparation. Their time is not your time. Their road is not your road. Allah knows what each heart can carry. Perhaps your delay is saving you from receiving something before you are emotionally ready. Perhaps it is saving you from choosing a person because you are lonely. Perhaps it is saving you from success that would have made you arrogant. Perhaps it is saving you from making a permanent decision during a temporary emotional state. One day, you may understand why the darkness lasted as long as it did. You may look back and see that it taught you things comfort never could. It taught you who truly cared. It taught you how to survive disappointment. It taught you how to pray with honesty. It taught you that you can lose people without losing yourself. It taught you that your worth does not disappear when someone rejects you. It taught you that Allah can carry you through a chapter you thought would destroy you. The dark phase may not be the end of your story. It may be the workshop where your heart is being rebuilt, a place where pride is reduced, a place where false dependence is removed, a place where patience becomes real, a place where your relationship with Allah becomes deeper than words. So do not hate the version of yourself that is struggling right now. Speak gently to yourself. You are learning, you are healing, you are becoming aware of things you once ignored. Keep taking small steps. Pray even when you do not feel perfect. Rest when you are tired. Seek help from trustworthy people when you need it. Leave what repeatedly harms you. Correct what you can correct. And trust Allah with what remains beyond your control. My brother, my sister, darkness cannot remain forever. Morning comes at the time Allah has written for it. Your life may not change in one dramatic moment. The light may return slowly. You may first notice that you are no longer crying every night. Then you may notice that the memory no longer controls your whole day. Then you may realize that you can speak about what happened without falling apart. Then one day you may understand that you are not the same person who entered the darkness. You are calmer. You are wiser. You are more careful about whom you trust. You are less desperate for approval. You are closer to Allah. The dark phase did not finish you. It rebuilt you. So when life feels quiet, painful, and uncertain, do not assume nothing good is happening. Allah may be doing His deepest work in the places no one else can see. And when the light returns, you may finally understand that the darkness was not empty. It was where Allah removed what was weak, repaired what was wounded, and prepared your heart for the life that comes next. Lesson 5. Allah may remove people who cannot enter your next chapter. My brother, my sister, one of the most painful parts of growth is realizing that not everyone who walked with you in the past can continue walking with you into the future. Some people were beside you during your weakest days. You shared your secrets with them. You trusted their promises. You imagined they would remain in your life forever. Then suddenly, something changes. The conversations become cold. The distance grows. The person who once understood you begins to misunderstand everything you do. The one who promised never to leave becomes the first to disappear when life becomes difficult. And you begin to ask, why did Allah allow this person to leave when I needed them most? You may believe their departure means you were not valuable enough. You may blame yourself. You may replay every conversation and search for the moment everything went wrong. You may think, perhaps I should have tried harder. Perhaps I should have remained silent. Perhaps I should have accepted more pain to keep them. But listen carefully. Not every person who leaves is proof that you failed. Sometimes a person leaves because the season connecting you has ended. Sometimes Allah may allow distance because He sees something you do not yet see. You see the memories, Allah sees the direction. You see what the person meant to you yesterday. Allah knows what their presence may do to your tomorrow. There are people who fit the version of you that was wounded, afraid, and desperate for approval. But when you begin to heal, the relationship begins to feel different. You no longer laugh at the same harmful behavior. You no longer accept disrespect to avoid loneliness. You no longer allow someone to speak to you in any way they choose. You no longer explain yourself to people who have already decided to misunderstand you. And when you change, some people become uncomfortable. They were comfortable when you always said yes. They were comfortable when you apologized even when you had done nothing wrong. They were comfortable when you gave your time, your energy, and your support without asking for anything in return. They were comfortable when you were afraid to lose them. But when Allah strengthens your heart, you begin to recognize what peace feels like. You begin to understand that love should not require you to lose your dignity. Friendship should not make you feel constantly anxious. Family connection should not be used as permission for repeated harm. Being patient does not mean allowing someone to destroy your emotional health. Being forgiving does not mean returning to the same danger. So you begin to create healthy limits. You speak more honestly. You stop chasing people. You stop begging for basic respect. And the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries may say, "You have changed." Yes, you have changed. You are learning. You are becoming wiser. You are no longer willing to break yourself just to keep someone close. My brother, my sister, do not feel guilty for growing. The right people may need time to understand your growth, but they will not demand that you return to a broken version of yourself just to make them comfortable. A sincere person will respect your healing. They may not agree with every decision, but they will not punish you for becoming healthier. They will not force you to choose between your peace and their presence. Some people, however, may only love the version of you they can control. When control ends, their affection changes. This truth can be painful, but painful truth is better than comfortable deception. Sometimes Allah may remove a person by allowing their true character to become clear. Perhaps you ignored the warning signs because you loved them. You saw their repeated lies, but you kept making excuses. You noticed that they only contacted you when they needed something, but you told yourself they were busy. You felt drained after every conversation, but you blamed yourself for being too sensitive. You saw how they treated others, but you believed they would always treat you differently. Then one day, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. They betray your trust. They speak about you behind your back. They disappear during your hardship. They use your weakness against you. And your heart breaks, not only because of what they did, but because you finally see what you refused to see before. Do not hate yourself for trusting. Having a sincere heart is not a weakness, but sincerity must be joined with wisdom. You can forgive someone and still accept that they are not safe for your future. You can wish them well without giving them the same access to your life. You can let go without carrying hatred. Forgiveness cleans your heart. It does not always rebuild the relationship. There are doors you can close peacefully. There are people you can release without insulting them. There are connections you can end without exposing every secret or telling the world what happened. Sometimes the most mature response is quiet distance. You do not need revenge. You do not need to prove that you were right. You do not need everyone to understand your side. Allah knows the truth. That knowledge can be enough. My brother, my sister, some people are removed not because they are completely evil, but because their direction is no longer connected to yours. Two people can begin a journey together and later need different roads. One person may want growth, the other may want comfort. One may be trying to become closer to Allah, the other may constantly pull them toward carelessness. One may be healing, the other may continue repeating the same harmful patterns. It does not always mean one person is worthless. It may simply mean that continuing together would damage both people. You cannot force every relationship to survive every season. Some people are part of the lesson, but not part of the destination. They may have helped you during one chapter. They may have taught you something important. They may even have brought real happiness into your life. But something can have been meaningful and still come to an end. An ending does not erase every good memory. You can be grateful for what was beautiful, while still accepting that the relationship can no longer continue in the same way. Sometimes you suffer because you are trying to keep alive something Allah may be helping you release. You keep calling, you keep explaining, you keep asking the person to become who you hoped they would be. You keep waiting for the old version of them to return. But every time you go back, the same wound opens, the same disrespect returns. The same confusion fills your heart. At some point, you must ask yourself, am I protecting a relationship, or am I only protecting my fear of being alone? Loneliness can make you hold people who are hurting you. Memories can make you return to places where your peace repeatedly died. Fear can convince you that a painful connection is better than no connection. But being alone for a season can be safer than being surrounded by people who make you forget your worth. There is a loneliness that weakens you, but there is also a solitude that heals you. In solitude, you may finally hear your own thoughts. You may realize how tired you were. You may understand how much of yourself you were sacrificing. You may begin praying with greater honesty. You may rediscover the parts of yourself you abandoned while trying to keep someone happy. The empty space may feel frightening at first, but empty space is not always punishment. Sometimes Allah creates space before bringing something healthier. A cup filled with dirty water must be emptied before clean water can enter. In the same way, some relationships may need to end before peace, maturity, and better companionship can enter your life. Do not rush to fill the space. When someone leaves, you may feel a strong need to replace them immediately. You may accept the first person who gives you attention. You may trust too quickly because you are afraid of feeling forgotten. You may enter another unhealthy connection before healing from the previous one. Be patient. Attention is not always love. Kind words are not always sincere intentions. A person entering quickly does not mean they are meant to remain. Ask Allah for wisdom. Watch a person's actions. Notice how they behave when they do not get what they want. Notice how they speak about people who are not present. Notice whether they respect your values. Notice whether their presence brings you closer to peace or deeper into confusion. Do not be impressed only by words. Character appears through time, pressure, disagreement, and responsibility. My brother, my sister, Allah may also remove people because your dependence on them has become too great. Perhaps your mood depends on whether they message you. Your confidence depends on whether they praise you. Your peace disappears whenever they become distant. You may say you love them, but the attachment has become so strong that you feel you cannot live without them. This is dangerous for the heart. People are gifts, but they are not Allah. They can support you, but they cannot control your future. They can love you, but they cannot fill every empty place within you. When you expect a human being to give you perfect safety, perfect understanding, and permanent emotional peace, you place a weight upon them that no person can carry. Then every mistake feels like betrayal. Every delay feels like rejection. Every change feels like the end of your world. Allah may allow the attachment to weaken, so your heart remembers where its deepest dependence belongs. This does not mean you should stop loving people. Love them sincerely, care for them, be loyal, appreciate their presence, but never hand another human being complete control over your worth and peace. People may change, people may become weak, people may misunderstand you, people may leave this world. Your connection with Allah must be deeper than your connection with creation. Sometimes a painful departure teaches this lesson better than 1,000 words. You may have thought you could not survive without someone. Then they left. At first you believed your life was finished. You cried, you lost sleep, you struggled to eat, you wondered how you would continue. But slowly, day after day, Allah carried you. You began to breathe normally again. You began to smile without forcing it. You discovered that the pain did not last forever. You realized that your life continued. And one day, you understood something powerful. You were not surviving because the person returned. You were surviving because Allah gave you strength you did not know you had. The departure did not destroy you. It revealed that Allah had been holding you all along. My brother, my sister, there may also be people who cannot enter your next chapter because they are committed to your old identity. They continue reminding you of every mistake. They refuse to believe that you can change. Whenever you try to improve, they mention who you used to be. You may leave a bad habit, but they laugh and say, you will return to it. You may become more serious about your faith, but they accuse you of pretending. You may try to build a new life, but they keep pulling you toward old behavior. Do not allow someone's memory of your past to become a prison for your future. You are allowed to repent. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to become more disciplined. You are allowed to leave behind the life that once harmed you. Allah's mercy is greater than the labels people place upon you. Some people may refuse to update their picture of you because your growth forces them to look at themselves. Your discipline reminds them of their excuses. Your healing reminds them of the wounds they refuse to face. Your boundaries remind them that they have been living without boundaries. Instead of growing with you, they may try to pull you backward. Do not hate them, but do not follow them backward either. You can pray for someone while walking in a different direction. You can care about them without joining them in what is harmful. You can be kind without giving them power over your choices. Your future needs courage. Sometimes courage means walking away from a crowd that keeps leading you away from Allah. It means accepting that some people will misunderstand you. It means choosing peace even when peace feels lonely at first. It means refusing to return to a version of yourself that Allah helped you escape. Some departures may happen suddenly. There may be no final conversation, no proper goodbye, no clear explanation. The person may simply become distant. This lack of closure can trouble the heart. You may spend months asking, why? You may imagine many reasons. You may blame yourself for things you never did. But sometimes closure does not come from the person. Sometimes closure comes from accepting their actions. Their silence is information. Their repeated absence is information. Their unwillingness to communicate honestly is information. Do not keep waiting for perfect words from someone whose behavior has already given you an answer. You may never understand every reason, but you can still choose to heal. You can say, Allah, I do not understand why this ended, but I ask you to protect my heart from bitterness and guide me toward what is better. That prayer may not remove the pain immediately, but it can stop the pain from turning into hatred. Be careful after being hurt. Do not allow one person's betrayal to make you suspicious of everyone. Not every person will harm you. Not every friendship will end badly. Not every promise is false. Pain can teach wisdom, but it can also create fear if you do not heal properly. Ask Allah to give you a soft heart with clear eyes. A heart that can love without becoming blind. A heart that can forgive without becoming foolish. A heart that can trust carefully without closing itself forever. The lesson is not that everyone will leave. The lesson is that even when people leave, Allah remains. The lesson is not that you should need no one. We all need support, friendship, family, and community. The lesson is that your heart should never collapse completely when one person changes. Your foundation must be stronger than human behavior. My brother, my sister, you may one day thank Allah for certain people who left. Right now, that may seem impossible. The wound may still be fresh. You may still miss their voice. You may still remember the future you imagined together. But time may reveal what emotion is hiding from you today. You may later discover that their departure saved you from years of confusion. You may realize that you were slowly becoming someone you did not recognize. You may see that you were lowering your standards, losing your peace, and moving away from your values. You may understand that the relationship looked like love, but felt like constant fear. And when healthier people enter your life, you may finally recognize how much pain you once accepted as normal. A healthy person does not make you beg for basic respect. They do not enjoy keeping you uncertain. They do not use silence to punish you. They do not repeatedly break your trust and then blame you for being hurt. They do not ask you to abandon your faith, dignity, or peace to prove your love. The right people are not perfect. They will make mistakes, but they will take responsibility. They will listen. They will try to repair what they damaged. They will not make you feel foolish for having feelings. They will want good for your faith and your future. Perhaps Allah may remove certain people to teach you the difference between attention and care, between attachment and love, between company and true companionship. Do not chase what Allah may be helping you outgrow. Do not keep reopening a door simply because you are familiar with the room behind it. Familiar pain is still pain. A long history does not always mean a healthy future. How long you have known someone does not determine how long they should remain close to you. What matters is truth, respect, character, and whether the connection helps or harms the people involved. Sometimes the next chapter requires fewer people. It may be quieter, it may look less exciting, but it may contain more peace. You may lose a crowd and find yourself. You may lose constant noise and find clarity. You may lose people who praised you publicly but harmed you privately. And in that smaller circle, you may finally breathe. Do not measure the quality of your life by how many people surround you. A large crowd cannot replace one sincere person. One trustworthy friend is more valuable than many connections built on benefit and appearance. Ask Allah for people who remind you of goodness, people who correct you with respect, people who celebrate your growth without envy, people who remain honest when honesty is uncomfortable, people who speak well of you when you are not present. And while you ask for such people, become such a person yourself. Be loyal, be honest, do not use people, do not keep someone close only because they are useful. Do not disappear when they are struggling, do not demand from others what you are unwilling to give. Sometimes we ask Allah for better people while refusing to become better ourselves. Your next chapter may require a better version of you as well. Learn from every relationship. Ask yourself what the loss taught you. Did it teach you to communicate earlier? Did it teach you not to ignore warning signs? Did it teach you to stop making one person the center of your life? Did it show you where you also need to improve? Do not make yourself guilty for everything, but do not refuse honest self-reflection either. Perhaps you stayed silent until resentment grew. Perhaps you expected people to understand what you never explained. Perhaps you also acted from fear, pride, or anger. Growth means recognizing your own mistakes without carrying blame that does not belong to you. Take the lesson, correct yourself, then move forward. My brother, my sister, when someone leaves, do not immediately ask only, how can I bring them back? Also ask, what is Allah teaching me through this distance? Perhaps He is teaching you not to chase. Perhaps He is teaching you to value yourself. Perhaps He is protecting you from a deeper wound. Perhaps He is making room for people who can meet you with honesty and respect. Perhaps He is guiding both of you towards separate paths that are better for your faith and future. You may not know the full reason today, so do not make claims about what only Allah knows. Simply trust that He sees the parts you cannot see. Take wise steps. Protect your heart without hardening it. Forgive without forgetting the lesson. Let go without becoming cruel. And remember that an ending with one person is not the ending of your whole story. Your life is still moving. Your future is still being written. Your ability to love has not disappeared. Your worth has not decreased. The people who left did not carry your destiny away with them. What Allah has written for you cannot be stolen by someone's departure. So when people are removed from your life, allow yourself to grieve. Do not pretend that it does not hurt. Cry if you need to cry. Speak to Allah honestly. Seek support from trustworthy people. But do not live forever at the door through which someone walked away. Turn around. There is still a road ahead of you. There are lessons you have not learned. There are people you have not met. There is peace you have not experienced. There may be a chapter waiting for you that requires a lighter heart, clearer boundaries, deeper faith, and fewer unhealthy attachments. Allah may remove people who cannot enter your next chapter. Not every departure is a punishment. Some departures may be protection. Some may be redirection. Some may be the painful space in which you finally discover who you are when you are no longer begging anyone to stay. Release what has ended with dignity. Keep your heart clean. Ask Allah to guide those who left and to guide you as well. Then continue walk. The people truly meant to support your growth will not require you to abandon your faith, dignity, or peace to keep them. And whoever leaves, remember this: Allah remains, His mercy remains, His guidance remains, and the future He has written for you does not end simply because someone else chose not to continue the journey. Lesson 6. You may feel buried while Allah builds your roots. My brother, my sister, there are seasons when your life feels buried beneath silence. No one notices your effort. No one celebrates your patience. You keep praying, but you do not see the answer. You keep trying, but your situation appears unchanged. You watch other people moving forward while you feel trapped in the same place. They are reaching their goals. They are receiving opportunities. They are celebrating new beginnings. But you are still waiting, still healing, still trying to understand why your road has become so slow. And when waiting continues for a long time, the heart begins to ask painful questions. Has Allah forgotten me? Did I miss my chance? Why is nothing growing in my life? Why am I hidden while everyone else is being seen? Listen carefully, my brother, my sister. A seed beneath the ground may look buried, but it has not been forgotten. To the person standing above the soil, nothing seems to be happening. There are no leaves, there are no flowers, there is no fruit, there is only an empty piece of ground. But beneath the surface, something important is taking place. The seed is opening, roots are forming, life is beginning in darkness. The most important part of the tree may start where no one can see it. Your life may be in such a season, you may feel hidden because Allah is doing work inside you that cannot yet be displayed outside you. You want your situation to change, Allah may first be changing your heart. You want the door to open, Allah may first be preparing you to walk through it without losing yourself. You want people to recognize you, Allah may first be teaching you not to depend on recognition. You want the blessing immediately, Allah may first be building the roots that will help you carry it. Many people want the fruit, but they do not understand the roots. Fruit receives attention, roots receive darkness. Fruit is admired, roots are ignored. Fruit is seen by everyone. Roots do their work quietly. But when the storm comes, it is not the beauty of the fruit that keeps the tree standing. It is the strength of the roots. This is why Allah may allow you to remain hidden for a season. The hidden season may be protecting you from receiving attention before you have enough strength to handle it. You may think being noticed will solve your problems, but attention can also bring pressure. Success can bring pride. Influence can bring criticism. Money can bring temptation. A relationship can bring responsibility. A new opportunity can expose weaknesses you have not yet repaired. If your roots are weak, the blessing you begged for may become the test that breaks you. So Allah may delay the visible growth while He strengthens the hidden foundation. My brother, my sister, you may not like this process. You may feel tired of hearing that you should be patient. You may say, I have already waited for so long. Perhaps you have. Perhaps you have cried more than anyone knows. Perhaps you have been trying to remain hopeful while your heart feels exhausted. Perhaps you have encouraged others while secretly wondering who will encourage you. Perhaps you have smiled for your family while carrying fear inside your chest. Perhaps you have continued praying even when you did not feel strong. Allah knows all of that. He knows the nights you could not sleep. He knows the tears you wiped before anyone entered the room. He knows how many times you almost gave up but decided to try one more day. He knows the prayers you could not express properly because the pain was too deep for words. Do not think hidden effort is wasted effort. People may not see it, but Allah sees it. People may not understand what it costs you to keep going, but Allah understands. The world usually celebrates visible results. It celebrates the person after the success. It celebrates the tree after the fruit appears. It does not celebrate the years of hidden growth. It does not see the failures. It does not see the rejection. It does not see the lonely work. It does not see the private prayers. But Allah sees the entire process. You may be judging yourself because there is no visible result yet. You may think you have achieved nothing, but perhaps you are no longer the same person you were before this season began. You may be more patient now. You may be more careful with your words. You may no longer chase people who do not value you. You may have learned to pray when you are afraid. You may have learned to say no to what harms you. You may have learned that your worth does not depend on applause. You may have learned how to continue without constant support. These changes may not appear impressive to the world, but they are roots, and roots will hold you when visible success arrives. My brother, my sister, being buried can feel very similar to being forgotten. That is why this season can be so painful. When a seed is placed beneath the soil, it cannot see the sky, it cannot see the sun, it cannot see what is happening above it. It is surrounded by darkness and pressure. But the soil covering it is not there to destroy it. The soil is creating the environment in which it can grow. The pressure is not proof that its story has ended. It is part of the beginning. In the same way, the pressure around you may not mean your life is finished. The darkness may not mean Allah has abandoned you. The silence may not mean your prayer has been ignored. You may simply be unable to see what is forming beneath the surface. There are things Allah may be arranging that you do not know about. A person may be changing. A door may be preparing to open. An opportunity may be developing. A danger may be moving away from your path. Your own heart may be becoming ready, but because you cannot see it, fear tells you that nothing is happening. Do not believe every fearful thought. Your eyes can only see the current moment. Allah knows the whole road. You see the delay. Allah sees what the delay is protecting. You see the silence. Allah sees the answer being prepared in the right way and at the right time. You see yourself standing still. Allah may see you being moved away from harm. Sometimes not moving is also protection. You may be eager to enter a certain relationship, but Allah knows the person is not ready. You may be eager to receive a position, but Allah knows the environment may damage your faith. You may be eager to become known, but Allah knows praise may enter your heart before humility becomes strong. You may be eager for money, but Allah knows you still need wisdom to manage it. You may call it delay. Allah may call it mercy. You may call it being buried. Allah may be building roots. My brother, my sister, some roots are formed through disappointment. You wanted something badly, you prayed for it, you planned for it, you believed it was finally going to happen, then the door closed. At first you saw only the pain, but perhaps the disappointment taught you that you could survive without that outcome. Perhaps it taught you not to connect your entire happiness to one plan. Perhaps it taught you to make effort while still leaving the result to Allah. Perhaps it taught you that a closed door does not mean a closed future. Every disappointment that does not destroy you can deepen your roots. You learn that your life can continue after rejection. You learn that people can leave and you can still heal. You learn that plans can fail and new plans can be made. You learn that one painful chapter does not define the entire book. Before the hardship, you may have believed you were strong because everything was going well. After the hardship, you become strong because you discover that you can continue even when things do not go well. That is a deeper kind of strength. Some roots are formed through loneliness. When people disappear, you are forced to face yourself. You begin to see which relationships were sincere and which were based only on convenience. You begin to understand how often you ignored your own needs to keep others happy. You begin to notice how much your mood depended on people giving you attention. Loneliness can be painful, but it can also become a classroom. It can teach you to enjoy your own company without feeling worthless. It can teach you to speak to Allah more honestly. It can teach you that silence is not always empty. It can teach you that having many people around you is not the same as being truly supported. In the hidden season, Allah may be cleaning your circle. He may be showing you who respects your limits. He may be showing you who only loved what you did for them. He may be showing you who remembers you when you have nothing to offer. Do not be angry when the truth becomes clear. Truth can hurt, but it can also protect you. You may lose a crowd and gain peace. You may lose constant conversation and gain clarity. You may lose people who knew your name but never understood your heart. Sometimes Allah reduces the noise around you because your roots cannot grow while you are always distracted by the opinions of others. Some roots are formed through failure. You may have tried something and failed. Perhaps you were embarrassed. Perhaps people laughed. Perhaps you felt ashamed to begin again. But failure may be teaching you lessons that easy success would never have taught you. It may teach you preparation. It may teach you discipline. It may teach you humility. It may teach you to ask for advice. It may show you where your plan was weak. It may reveal skills you still need to learn. A person who has never failed may believe every success came only from their own ability. But a person who has failed and risen again understands the need for Allah's help. They become more humble. They become more grateful. They become kinder to others who are struggling. The failure that made you feel buried may be developing character that success will later require. Do not waste the lesson by turning failure into your identity. You failed at something. That does not mean you are a failure. A door closed. That does not mean every door will close. A person rejected you. That does not mean you have no value. One painful result should not be allowed to speak about your entire future. Take the lesson. Correct what needs correction. Then begin again. A seed does not refuse to grow because the ground is dark. It uses the darkness. You must learn to use this season as well. Use the silence to reflect. Use the waiting to prepare. Use the loneliness to strengthen your relationship with Allah. Use the rejection to improve your direction. Use the pain to become more compassionate. Use the delay to build the habits you will need when the door finally opens. My brother, my sister, you may be asking Allah for something large while living with habits that cannot support it. You ask for a better life, but your days have no discipline. You ask for peace, but you keep returning to people who bring chaos. You ask for success, but you avoid difficult work. You ask for healing, but you keep feeding the thoughts that deepen the wound. You ask for guidance, but you continue ignoring what you already know is wrong. Sometimes the hidden season is not only about waiting, it is about preparation. Ask yourself honestly, what should I be building while I wait? Perhaps you need to improve a skill. Perhaps you need to heal before entering another relationship. Perhaps you need to learn how to manage money. Perhaps you need to control your anger. Perhaps you need to become more reliable. Perhaps you need to improve your prayer. Perhaps you need to stop speaking about your plans and begin working quietly. Do not spend the entire waiting season staring at the closed door. Prepare yourself for the day it opens. A farmer does not plant a seed and then dig it up every morning to check whether it has grown. If he keeps disturbing it, he may damage the process. He waters it, he protects it, he waits. You must do the same with some parts of your life. Make your prayer, take the correct steps. Then allow Allah's timing to unfold. Constantly checking, worrying, and comparing will not make the answer arrive faster. It will only exhaust your heart. Some people damage their peace because they keep measuring their hidden beginning against another person's visible result. You look at someone who has been working for 10 years and compare them with your first year. You look at someone's happiest moment and compare it with your hardest season. You see the fruit but not the roots. You see the marriage but not the years of loneliness. You see the success but not the failures. You see the confidence but not the healing. You see the peaceful home but not the sacrifices that built it. Do not use another person's blessing as evidence that Allah has forgotten you. Their blessing is not proof of your rejection. Allah's gifts are not limited. Someone else receiving something does not mean there is nothing left for you. The sun can shine upon many homes without losing its light. Allah's mercy is far greater. Your time will not be stolen by someone else's time. What is written for you will reach you at the moment Allah knows is best. But you must be careful not to become bitter while waiting. Bitterness poisons the roots. You may begin to dislike people simply because they received what you wanted. You may stop feeling happy for others. You may ask why their prayer was answered before yours. My brother, my sister, protect your heart. You do not know their private tests. You do not know what responsibility came with their blessing. You do not know what they lost before they received it. Ask Allah to bless them and to bless you in the way that is best. A clean heart will make the waiting lighter. Envy will make even your own blessings feel small. The hidden season may also be teaching you sincerity. When no one sees your effort, will you continue? When no one praises your goodness, will you still do it? When your prayer is not answered quickly, will you still worship Allah? When helping people brings you no recognition, will you still help? This is where intention becomes clear. It is easy to work when people are watching. It is easy to appear patient when people are admiring your strength. It is easy to be generous when your generosity will be praised. But what do you do when no one knows? The hidden deeds build roots in the heart. The prayer made when everyone is asleep. The charity given without telling anyone. The apology offered even when your pride resists. The temptation refused when no human being would have known. The kindness shown to someone who can give you nothing in return.
These quiet choices may be building a character stronger than any public image. Do not be afraid of being unseen by people. Being unseen by people does not mean being unseen by Allah. Sometimes Allah hides good people to protect the purity of their hearts. Constant praise can make a person begin living for praise. Attention can become an addiction. You may begin choosing what looks impressive instead of what is right. You may begin measuring your worth through numbers, comments, position, and reputation. So Allah may allow a season where no one notices you. At first it hurts, then slowly you learn freedom. You learn to work because the work matters. 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 You learn to continue without needing people to clap. Then, if recognition comes later, it will not control you in the same way. You will appreciate it, but you will not depend on it. You will receive praise, but you will know that praise does not define you. You will be criticized, but criticism will not destroy you. Your roots will be deeper than public opinion. My brother, my sister, Allah may also be building roots through unanswered questions. You want to know why something happened. You want a clear explanation. You want to understand why a person changed, why a door closed, or why a prayer appears delayed, but perhaps no answer comes. This can be very difficult because the mind keeps searching. You replay the past. You create different possibilities. You blame yourself. You imagine what you could have done differently, but not every question will receive an immediate answer. Sometimes peace begins when you stop demanding to understand everything before you trust Allah. You may say, Allah, I do not know why this happened, but I know you are wiser than me. Guide me through what I cannot understand. This is not weakness, this is surrender. It does not mean you stop thinking or learning. It means you accept that human understanding has limits. A child may cry when a dangerous object is removed from their hand. The child understands the loss, but not the protection. Perhaps there are things removed from your life that you still do not understand. You see what you wanted. Allah sees what it contained. You see today's pain. Allah sees tomorrow's consequence. Trust does not mean the pain disappears immediately. It means the pain does not make you lose your belief in Allah's wisdom. You may still cry. You may still feel disappointed. You may still wish the outcome had been different. But somewhere beneath the sadness, you hold on to the belief that Allah knows what you do not know. That belief is a root. Every time you choose trust over despair, the root becomes stronger. Every time you return to prayer after disappointment, the root goes deeper. Every time you refuse to become cruel because someone hurt you, the root becomes stronger. Every time you begin again after failure, your foundation grows. You may not see the change, but it is happening. One day, a storm may arrive that would have destroyed the old version of you. But because of what this hidden season taught you, you will remain standing. You will say, I have been through darkness before. Allah carried me then, and He will carry me again. That is what roots do. They give you memory. They remind you that hardship is not new and that Allah's help is not new either. You have survived days you once believed would finish you. You have healed from things you once believed you would never overcome. You have lived without people you once believed you could not live without. You have found answers after thinking there were none. Why do you think Allah will leave you now? The same Allah who brought you through the earlier storm can bring you through this one. Do not allow the pressure of the present moment to erase every example of past mercy. Look back carefully. There were times you did not know what would happen, but somehow a path appeared. There were moments your heart felt completely broken, but slowly you healed. There were doors you were desperate to enter,